I wanted to talk a little bit about some relationship rules. Um, I wish your parents. Well, my dad didn't give any relationship rules for having boyfriends or anything. Um, but I wish I had some basic dating rule stuff because even my mom really didn't say a whole lot. So a couple of things. Um, that if you go out anytime, you should, I think, have some basic rules that you should have at all times, regardless at what age you're going out. So, one, on either side, the person who you're looking into dating, they should be considerate. They're no and respectful. There are many ways of testing that, like um, opening doors. Some people might think that's old fashioned or holding doors open for you. I think that's a basic thing you should do regardless. And for the ladies, for the other side, if they're going ahead, uh, I don't expect ladies to hold the doors open, but if they do a little considerate things, if they're being thoughtful and doing something for you, and that's one way of checking to see if they're being considerate and being respectful. The other thing is you have to set rules at the beginning of the relationship, because once you know you're in a marriage for 20 years, it's hard to say, oh, you haven't done this or you haven't done that. You have to do it at the beginning. I think that's a better way of doing it. So that respect and being considerate, I think, is one of the most important things in any relationship, regardless whether it's dating or it's friendship or family. Because if they're not being respectful from the beginning, for example, texting. If the party doesn't, I would give an 8 hour rule, or by the end of the day. If they don't respond back to your text by the end of the day, to me that's really rude, and extremely. I mean, usually within whatever the end of the day is, if you're friends and you're working night shift, by the morning, if they haven't responded back by text, and you've texted them, to me that's just flat out rude, and that would be a reason not to uh, be, and that that they do text. I mean, some people that don't have a phone that can text and so on. I have friends who's 95. He can't text, so I don't expect him to text. But somebody normal, who does do texting and they know how to text and they can text, um, then they should respond back by the end of the day. If they don't, that's a flag right there. Also, if people, for ladies, if the guy is calling you honey, um, or some generic name that could be used towards anybody, that's a flag, because that means that they probably don't remember your name, and they probably have more than one person that they're dating or something. So that's a kind of a red flag. They should use your name when they're talking to you or texting you and so on. Um, the other rule, since we're on the phone, if you have someone on speakerphone, you should tell them that you have them on a speakerphone, because if for whatever you know uh, reason, you should tell people that you're having them on speakerphone in case they're saying something that they don't want the whole everybody to know about. So that's one of my other rules is you should let people know when somebody calls me. If I have them on speakerphone, I let them know immediately that hi, I have you on speakerphone. Um, the other rule for dating, somebody should you should agree on making meals, or if you're going to if one person is going to cook, it doesn't matter who it is, the other person should have to do dishes. If the guy does neither, for the ladies, um, that's a red flag. I have uncles who are very good cooks, but their wives usually clean up. They do the dishes. So it's fine if one person is a better cook than the other. It doesn't matter which one versus the other. Uh, but whoever does the cooking, the other person has to do the dishes. If they are unwilling to do it, I've seen, especially a lot of men. I see a lot of men that they don't do anything. They don't help out with doing dishes. They need it. They don't cook, and they don't clean up. To me, that's just horrible. Uh, Unless they have some physical disability or something that they can't do it. And even if they have a physical disability, they should at least they could do things like chopping up the food, sitting down, and help out with doing things that. Uh, so uh, those are some of the rules, and I will add more. But basically, the bottom line comes off to as being respectful, and being respectful it happens in every little thing that you do, and on every little things, if both parties aren't being respectful and aren't being considerate, to me that's just kind of like a red flag as to okay, this person isn't. And you can there's a number of ways. I can't think of any right now, but there are a number of ways where you can test that. So uh, that's one way of checking out your future dates from beginning and setting up the good foundation on dating or on relationships, basically either one. There's most of the things I said it applies to either one, whether it's any kind of relationship or dating. Some basic rules. All right, much love. Please, if you watch this video, subscribe and like if you like. Thank you.